Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and thank you all so much for your support. Today we'll be making red velvet cake. I'll start by showing you the ingredients and I will get baking. I'm using a stand mixer and I'm going to put the attachment, the paddle attachment. I like this one that has these edges because it scrapes the bowl really well. So I'm going to just show you the ingredients, but I'll put the quantities in the description. That's red food coloring, gel food coloring. These are the pans I'm going to be using, two 8-inch pans that I've oiled and lined the bottom with parchment paper. My butter looks slightly melted because I was trying to soften it. It was not quite at room temperature yet, so I softened it in the microwave and it started melting a little bit. So I'll beat the butter for about a minute until it's nice and soft, and then I'll add the sugar and then cream the sugar and the butter together until it's nice and creamy before I add the rest of the ingredients. So I'm using both butter and oil for this recipe and most of my cake recipes. The butter gives it flavor, the nice butter flavor, and the oil adds some moisture to the cake. So that's the oil that I'm adding right now. And I'll beat again for about another minute. So guys, let me tell you the story about my eggs. The yellow thing you see in the cup there is eggs, it's liquid eggs. I went to buy liquid egg whites that I usually use for my meringue buttercreams, but I mistakenly bought whole liquid eggs. I saw it in the carton and just thought it was liquid egg whites, but when I brought it home I noticed that it was liquid eggs, like whole eggs. So that's what I'm using in place of regular eggs, just so they don't go to waste. But in this recipe you can use regular eggs, like cracked eggs. I'm just using this because I mistakenly bought it in place of egg whites. I had never seen whole eggs in a carton, so yeah, when I saw it, and it was in the same area where I buy the egg whites, the liquid egg whites, so that was new to me, but I used them anyways because I don't want to waste them. So after beating the eggs, I'm going to add the vanilla extract for flavor and beat it. So I'm basically adding most of my wet ingredients except the milk. The milk will be added at the end, alternating with the dry ingredients. So from time to time it's good to scrape the bottom and sides of the bowl. At this point I'm going to add the sour cream, which also helps to add moisture to the cake. And then I'll turn my mixer back on to beat, and as that is beating I'm going to go ahead and sift the dry ingredients. Some of the dry ingredients have lumps I don't want to be in the batter, especially the cocoa powder. If you don't sift it, you can get some chunks of cocoa powder in your cake and you don't want that. So I'm going to add the cocoa powder into the flour, and then I'll add the baking powder, baking soda and salt. They're all in that little bowl, and I'll sift those together. That also helps them mix well before we put them in the mixture. So at this point I'm going to add the red food coloring. I'm using Americolor gel food coloring. That's what gives the cake its red color. I'm going to mix that with the wet ingredients so it combines well before I add the dry ingredients. Then I'm going to alternate the dry ingredients with the milk. I'm using whole milk. You can also use 2% milk or buttermilk. Buttermilk will even be better because it adds moisture to the cake. That's the milk. I'm just rinsing my spoon with the food coloring just to get all the coloring out. That's why the milk is now pinkish. I've added about half of the dry ingredients and then I've added all of the milk. Then I'll do the last addition of the dry ingredients. At this point, you want to just stir gently because you don't want to overmix. I've added the distilled white vinegar. That's one of the ingredients for red velvet cake. I just added that as the last ingredient. Then I'm going to take it off the mixer and just stir it with a spatula so that I don't overmix with the mixer. You can see how creamy and soft the batter looks. So now I'll put the batter in the two prepared pans. I try to divide them evenly. I just eyeball it, but if you want to be more accurate, you can weigh the batter in the pans. So I'm just smoothing the tops and then hitting it on the counter for a bit to get out extra air bubbles. I prepared my oven 350 degrees Fahrenheit and the cakes baked for about 50 minutes. I baked them the night and I left them to cool in the pans overnight because I was tired to ice them the same day. So the next morning I took them out of the pans and I'm going to be using some ermine buttercream to ice these cakes. Ermine buttercream is like the buttercream that was commonly used for red velvet cake. I know nowadays we use cream cheese frosting, but ermine buttercream was the commonly used icing for red velvet cake and cupcakes. You can check out my channel for the video for the ermine buttercream too. So I'm just going to ice it. I'll not show the icing in detail because I have many videos that have iced and decorated cakes. You can check that out if you're interested. I'm just trimming the tops so the cakes fit better. And I'm also going to use the crumbs later to decorate the cake. I'll do a crumb coat to lock in the crumbs and put the cake in the fridge to chill before I do the final layer of icing. This is still the ermine buttercream, but it's not enough, so I'm going to make a little bit of American buttercream to ice the outside of the cake. I also have a recipe for American buttercream, a video that you can check out. So doing the final layer or coating of icing. And when it's all smooth, I'm going to decorate it with the crumbs, the red velvet cake crumbs. I just love the way it looks with the red crumbs over the white icing. If you want a more detailed video of how I ice the cakes with sharp edges, smooth sides, you can check out videos on my channel. So I've crumpled up the cake crumbs and I'm just adding to the sides and top of the cake. I decided to make a heart shape on the top. I put some of the buttercream in a piping bag and I'm just going to pipe a border around the top of the cake and add some more crumbs. I love the way the red crumbs look over the white icing. Now it's time for the taste test. We're going to cut the cake and try some. It's nice and airy and tastes delicious with a hint of cocoa flavor or chocolate flavor. Please try making it and let me know how it turns out for you. Thank you for watching the video. If you like what you saw, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you in my next video. My kids and I are devouring the cake. Beautiful red velvet cake. Thanks again for your support. Bye for now and I'll see you in my next video.